This video highlights the first 2 years of Walter Payton's fabulous NFL career. I consider him to be the greatest running back of all time, and I'm not alone. Check it out. Walter Payton was a rock-solid 5'10", 200-pound block of granite. He was a physical fitness marvel, as he could walk on his hands for 50 yards. At Jackson State, he held the NCAA career points scored record of 464. He did some kicking there too, and was drafted by the Bears as the 4th overall pick in 1975. The Bears were looking to recapture the great rushing attack led by Gale Sayers, whose last big year was in 1969. His first NFL game was unbelievable, but not in a good way. He rushed 8 times for 0 yards and caught 1 pass for -4 yards. After the game, he cried at his locker. Week 2 would be better, though. 21 rushes for 95 yards, along with this 11-yard reception. He had 36 yards receiving on the day. Bob Thomas hit this 26-yarder, and the Bears had their first win of the year. In 1975's Week 10 game against the Los Angeles Rams' number 2 defense, quarterback Gary Huff was more than a little bit befuddled. And then when things did get straightened out, Walter Payton got butterfingers. Number 7, rookie quarterback Bob Avellini stepped in, but he was woeful as well. The Bears' kicking game had its shortcomings too. After 10 games, the Bears had only scored 97 points, less than 10 per game. Heading into frigid Wisconsin, the Bears brought their 26th ranked offense to play the Packers. Payton carried 12 times for 40 tough yards and 1 touchdown. Bob Avellini had a tough day. He went 9 of 25 passing for 109 yards, 3 interceptions, and he was sacked 4 times for 65 yards. The Lions and Bears renewed acquaintances in their biannual black and blue divisional meeting in Week 12. The Lions pummeled the Bears 27-7 in Week 4 and dialed up the intimidation factor in this game. If there was an early knock on Payton, it was his propensity for fumbling. After fumbling near the goal line here, the Zebras got together and determined that he fumbled after crossing the goal line. 6 points, Bears. Payton gave the Bears a 19-7 lead on his second touchdown. He rushed 27 times for 65 hard-earned yards. Payton had an okay rookie year as he rushed for 679 yards, which was 9th best in the NFC. He also returned 14 kickoffs for a dazzling 31.7-yard average. The Bears finished with a 4-win, 10-loss season. They only scored more than 10 points in a game 6 times, and their passing game was putrid. Only 9 touchdown passes with 23 interceptions. Walter Payton's Week 2 matchup against the 49ers was challenging initially as Tommy Hart tackled him for a safety. But then he slashed, darted, and juked his way to 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bears head coach Jack Pardee played for Redskins head coach George Allen while with the Rams and Redskins, so he had inside information as to the inner workings of the Redskins machine. He was counting upon them to play conservatively and counting heavily upon Walter Payton. The 7-win, 1-loss Oakland Raiders came to the Windy City in Week 9. They would go on to win the Super Bowl. The Bears lost a nail-biter 28-27, but it wasn't on account of Walter Payton. In Detroit, Week 11, the Lions put their league-leading defense to the test against the NFL's leading rusher. The swarming Lions defense limited Payton to only 40 yards on 17 carries. Payton busted out in Seattle Week 13 as he rushed for a then career-high 183 yards. In doing so, he broke the Bears' single-season rushing record held by Gale Sayers by 100 yards. Walter sped 21 yards on this touchdown run, but only had 28 additional yards on 13 carries as the Bears lost 28-14 and finished the season with 7 wins and 7 losses. Check out my new Spotify store that has some really cool stuff. The link is in the profile. As always, thank you for watching.